potential turning point in Yemen's civil war today. A Saudi-led coalition has reportedly captured the airport from Houthi rebels in a key city. The offensive happened in Hodeida. Today's success, if true, follows 3 days of fighting. For more on this, let's turn to Rebecca Collard. She joins us now from Beirut. So, Rebecca, tell us more about today's success from the Arab Alliance and just how important it is.
Well, yeah, Natasha, as you said, they've now captured the airport in Hodeida and are poised to take back the city and this very strategic port as well. Now, this alliance, this coalition includes the Yemeni military, troops from the United Arab Emirates, and also from Sudan. Now, they have been surrounding the city and surrounding this very strategic port, which is controlled by the Houthi rebels. And they're saying that they can take the city quite quickly. Now, of course, this is putting at risk the 600,000 citizens who live in the city of Hodeida, but actually the concerns of humanitarian organizations are much greater than that, Natasha. And that's because Hodeida is one of the biggest ports in the country and where much of the food that now feeds the Yemeni people comes through. 90% of the food in Yemen is imported, much of it through this port, as I said. And many people, millions of people, more than 7 million people, are already facing starvation in the country, Natasha. So as this fighting ramps up, we may see a disruption in that aid, and that is really raising concerns among the humanitarian community as this operation moves forward, Natasha.
Rebecca, the situation in Yemen, the war, has been going on for years and is often not covered, sometimes overshadowed by what's going on in Syria or Iraq. So remind us, what is at stake? What are the two political sides fighting about?
Well, yeah, Natasha, the war in Yemen is very complicated. Like many of the countries in the Middle East, Yemenis rose up against their government in 2011, part of the Arab Spring. But it was years later, in 2014, that these Houthi rebels, who are allied with Iran, actually ousted the internationally recognized government from Sana'a, the capital, and other parts of the country. So in 2015, this Saudi-led coalition of mostly Arab states intervened to push these Houthi rebels out. So in some ways, it is part of this wider regional power struggle between Iran and Saudi Arabia, but it is not like Syria, for example. Iran may be allied with these Houthi rebels, but it is not intervening in the same sort of military capacity. You don't have Iranian fighters on the ground or really direct military support like you do in somewhere like Syria. So, this does seem to be part of this regional conflict now, and it seems that these Houthi rebels are going to be pushed out of Hodeida and then possibly lose other territory. But in the meanwhile, Natasha, a lot of civilians, hundreds of thousands of civilians, at risk as this conflict continues.